To me, man.
Let's talk about it.
Talk
Our
to me.
ELLIE House game of the week. And Arch Archbishop Hoban
Yep.
traveled to Walsh Jesuit.
Yep.
Okay, Hoban came in there 5-1.
Mm-hmm.
Walsh Jesuits was undefeated 6-0.
Yep.
Talk about the atmosphere, Coach.
Number one, the atmosphere was amazing. In our 2 years, doing this show, that was the best atmosphere I done been in. I think that we've been in. I know you was at Maslin and Ed's last year. I didn't make that one. I know you said that atmosphere was crazy too.
Indeed, it was
So I'm
crazy.
just talking about the games I went to. That was the best atmosphere we've been in. The crowd was amazing. Standing room only, all the way around the fence, around the whole stadium. I looked up and it was 7:30. It was a line going up the hill. People still coming in. I don't think we pulled out to 10:45. Just being media, trying to get interviews. And being patient with the coaches, and the players were great. They interviewed every media outlet that was there because it was a lot of us there.
There was a lot there.
But the energy, the atmosphere, the crowd, it was electric. They had the helicopter circling the game for about the first quarter. It was beautiful. So starting off with that first, they knocked that out the box. The atmosphere was crazy. Talking about the game, Walsh Jesuit jumped out early, 13-0 at halftime. Aiden Henry caught a 32-yard fade, touchdown on the slot fade. And Keller Moton had a 66-yard touchdown run. That pretty much was the offense in the first half. Defense dominated Hoban's offense in the first half. Talking about Walsh Jesuit. Their defense dominated. Their defense pretty much played well the whole game. They gave up some stuff late. We'll get in that early. Hoban switched quarterbacks. I don't know if they weren't prepared. Shout out to Hoban's quarterback. He came in slinging that thing. But they dominated the first half defensively. Their pursuit to the ball and their effort on defense was relentless. They take great angles. It ain't just one guy making the tackle most of the time. It's 2, 3, 4 guys running to the ball, making the tackle, not getting out leverage, lining up right. They did a good job with their defensive personnel. I don't know if you've seen it. When Hoban was in heavy, they had their regular personnel in, 2, 3 linebackers, 2, 3 safeties getting downhill, helping with the run. Anytime Hoban came with a spread, more of a spread look, they came with a nickel package, more speed. Declan Norton, hopefully I got his name right, I'm pretty sure I did, playing Mike Backer by himself, running sideline to sideline. So the coaches had a great game plan put together. Them boys got a lot of football players out there. We always talk about Keller Moton, of course. We talked about Milan Perez, of course. But they got a lot of kids that caught my eye that I didn't even know about. Shout out to number 4, edge player, Jameer McCombs. Had a good game. Shout out to number 5, Mr. 48 Minutes, Aiden Henry. We're going to talk about Aiden here soon a little bit more on Between the Lines with Coach Stella. Number 9, linebacker, Caden Carter, balling. Number 10, cornerback, Dominic Romanini. Had a great couple pass breakups at corner, quick corner over there. Number 21, safety, Grant Plaskat, huge, 6'2", 205, passed the eye test. He could be a linebacker in college, I don't know, but he fell in the alley making tackles. He's a big-time player. James Brewer III playing corner. Long, 6'2" corner, only a junior. He had a good game. Marty Tobin at running back. I talked about Declan Norton playing that Mike Backer. He was everywhere on the defense, making plays all night. And shout out to Cody Kish playing both sides of the ball on the O-line and D-line, which is tough to do. Nobody talks about those players. No media outlet talked about those players. They're going to talk about Keller and Milan, and all due respect, they deserve it. Walsh Jesuit got a stick over there. Walsh Jesuit got a stick over there. So Division II teams, I hope they don't think, oh, they just kind of riding a wave right now. No, they're a good football team with a good staff, and they got some good support. So you better be ready to play them when we get closer to Division II playoffs. On the other side, bro, let's talk about Hoban. Their offense in the first half, it was sluggish, no rhythm, almost like, I want to say no game plan. I don't know if the kids didn't believe in the game plan. It was like, let's just go out here, let's just throw stuff at the wall and see what stick. It was no rhythm, no rhyme. I just didn't like it at all. The defense, honestly, for the most part, defense played pretty good for the most of the game. Outside of 3 possessions, and you playing Walsh Jesuit with a big-time team, I thought the defense played pretty good. They didn't give up a lot of big plays. They played solid on Milan. Milan had catches. Rock had some plays. You know, that's going to be a 50-50 matchup. That's going to break even. But I thought Eli Lee, Ace Brown made some plays. Eli Lee was Eli Lee. Tackle to tackle, sideline to sideline, making some plays. So the defense, I thought, was solid. In the second half, they made a quarterback switch, particularly in the fourth quarter. They went to junior Trent Hayden. Little Birdie told me he's a transfer from Walsh Jesuit. He came in throwing dots. He was slinging that thing. He kind of brought a little energy and a little juice. And then also it seemed like the play calling was a little bit different also. So Hoban, again, the first half, I didn't like the offense. Second half, especially in the fourth quarter, looked a lot better. Couple things I'm thinking. You got Juice Boykin. I got to at least have a package for Juice, man. Now, I know Juice a DB. This ain't nothing to do with Juice either.
Right.
Because I know Juice going to school for DB. He probably want to be locked in there so he can focus on going to school to play DB. And he probably want to do whatever best for the team. So whatever the coaches want to do, I'm sure Juice that type of kid to roll with it.
Right.
But this kid took you to the state championship last year. He's a dynamic enough athlete to be a Division I corner to go play in the MAC. I got to have at least a package for him. Especially if the offense is that stagnant. So I don't know if that's something they're thinking about. That's something I would definitely be thinking about if I was coaching at Hoban. We got a kid that led us to the state championship game and was one throw away from winning the state championship.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean? So I got to think about having him at quarterback in some capacity. That's nothing against Trent Hayden, assuming Trent is the quarterback moving forward. But I don't care who's the quarterback. I got to have a package for Juice. Last thing I'm going to say about Hoban, though, Brayton Feaster, a grown man. He a competitor. He a dog. You could tell in that second half he did not like how things was going. Man was running possessed. He had a couple plays. It was 3, 4, 5 dudes couldn't get him down. Had a big-time touchdown run, was about 50 or 60 yards, took it to the house. Showed me a little more speed than I thought he had. So shout out to Brayton. Brayton showed his competitiveness. He showed that dog he got in him. He showed that will to win he got in him. All in all, Walsh Jesuit got it done. You know what I mean? All in all, Walsh Jesuit got it done, which leads us to our ELLIE House player of the game. I'm going to say the stats first, man. Walsh Jesuit senior quarterback Keller Moulton. 10 of 19, 152 passing and a touchdown. Ran 16 times, 140 yards, 2 touchdowns. Okay, the stats, yeah, all right. That don't do it justice if you weren't there. I talked to my son about this. I talked to any kid about this. Life in sports is about moments. The stats and stuff they got to have to show me how Linnell Lewis played, to show me how Daniel played. But sometimes if you ain't there, if you don't conquer them moments, it don't matter. Case in point, LeBron James, his first 7, 8 years. Nobody can deny his talent. He's probably the most talented dude we ever had playing. But there were moments. There were certain moments he was not ready to seize those moments. Now, I ain't taking no shots because once he figured it out, he got it going now. He got 4 rings later. He the king. He one of the best players we've ever seen in basketball. But earlier you could tell there was moments he wasn't ready. Keller Moulton had his moment Friday night. As a whole, number one as a game. You got people like Coach Stella that's on this show saying he the number 1 candidate in Northeast Ohio to be Mr. Football. I'm sure he's hearing that. I'm sure he want to prove that right. But also you got people that's also looking at it like, yeah, I don't believe that. Let's see what he do against Hoban. I know that's how people think. Let's see what he do against Hoban. So as a whole in the game, he going into this game thinking I want to have a big-time game. That's where you put the stats back in. Against Hoban. All right, let's see how he played against Hoban. I'm going to tell you how he played against Hoban. 10 of 19, 152, throwing and a touchdown. Also ran 16 times, 141 and 2 touchdowns. That's how he played against Hoban. And then in the micro, when you get to the fourth quarter, your defense get a little bit tired. They give up a touchdown. You down 14-13. They give you the ball with 2:24 to go. He led them boys right down there. You could tell that was the moment he was waiting on, and he seized it. So shout out to Keller Moulton, our ELLIE House player of the game. My number 1 candidate for Mr. Football in Northeast Ohio. I can't speak for Southern Ohio, Southwest Ohio, or Northwest Ohio. Speaking for Northeast Ohio, he should be our number 1 candidate. Also doing what he did this year against a top 10 strength of schedule in the state of Ohio. If you look at their schedule, they play a hard schedule. He ain't playing cupcakes. So the ELLIE House game of the week was electric, bro. I loved it. Shout out to Keller, our ELLIE House player of the game. He was fantastic. Shout out to all the kids on both teams. Big-time talent on both sides. It was electric. I'm sure both teams going to be a problem in the Division II playoffs. And it was great, bro. Talk to me though. I want to hear what you was thinking about the atmosphere in the game, bro.
Well, we haven't, like you said. I agree with you. For winning a bullet, that was the atmosphere, the cream of the crop thus far in 2 years. Like to see that standing room around the fence, like around the whole field, the whole stadium. So the crowd was energetic. it was it was on fire.
It was,
definitely.
bro.
It was definitely on fire. The gameplay. I'll start with the quarterback play, right? Most important position on the field.
Facts.
It was one-sided. The quarterback play was one-sided.
Facts.
Right? So if you now that can't be your game plan to play two quarterbacks.
Right.
But I'm thinking you played two quarterbacks to find something. Right? They pitched a donut the first half.
What you was doing wasn't working.
So you trying to find something.
Right.
So that just lets you know how one-sided the quarterback play was in the game. You got a Keller molding, and then you got a combination of trying to hit these two rocks together over here. Not calling them rocks, but you get what I'm saying. You're trying to create a spark.
Right, exactly.
Then what stood out to me also is, and the coach talked about this in the post-game interview, is Milan Paris playing his particular role in that game, which was really decoy.
Mm-hmm.
It was the occupied safety. Mm-hmm. So Aiden Henry, like you had mentioned, he can get that one-on-one in the slot. Mm-hmm. And he was killing them with big plays. He was killing them with big plays. So Milan Paris was kind of like, if you play chess, everybody got to look over their shoulder for that queen.
Right.
Like that queen could cover so much space. So he just kept them occupied. Just kept them, because we just kept saying, he coming. Like it's coming.
Got to be an opportunity coming soon,
And it seems like Hoban was thinking the same thing, because Aiden Henry kept winning his one-on-one. Mm-hmm. He just kept winning his one-on-one.
Facts.
And then also, if you got too many eyes on Milan Paris and you're not accounting for number 8, and number 8, he got Boogie.
Right.
Is if you didn't think so before, he got Boogie. He got the
facts.
Boogie.
If you don't know, he got Boogie.
Right, and he got the Boogie. And so, those are a few things that stood out for me as far as, things. The quarterback play, which we understand is the most important position on the field more times than not.
Yep.
And then the shell game that coach played with Milan Paris, knowing that I'm going to have a safety occupied at all times. Right, most likely, even though you got some of the most prolific corners.
And to your point, Coach, I'm playing 10-on-9 now. I'm playing 10-on-9 now. And then more importantly, in the pass game, to your point, and I'm playing one-on-one with a really good player I got in the slot. Anytime you a slot, you going against the third corner or a safety. So you get that one-on-one matchup, but Coach going to love that. That's a great point.
Right. So, those things I seen. Hoban's defense played inspired. They mean, you gave up big plays, so you 13-0 off of big plays. A 66-yard touchdown run, okay, that could be a great play, or maybe a missed tackle or two.
Right.
And a 30-something-yard touchdown catch, same thing. Could be a broken coverage, miscommunication on the backside. However, 13 points. They at home. They got the 12th man. The crowd is crazy. 13 points. We still here. Yeah. We still here. So
and to your point, bro, to piggyback off your point, bro, that's a great point you made. Those two early plays, I am guaranteeing it had a lot to do with Milan Paris. The first touchdown to Aiden Henry is a slot fade. The safeties are worried about Milan. So now Aiden Henry got one-on-one. Aiden's a good football player. Now he got one-on-one. Keller makes a great pass, back corner, 32-yard touchdown, slot fade. And then also on a 66-yard touchdown run. You got a safety occupied. So now we playing 10-on-9 really, because the quarterback is running the ball. Mm-hmm. So now I have the numbers advantage as far as, to your point, as far as the game plan with Milan. And then two other points, bro, and I'm going to get out of here. Shout out to Milan. A lot of young receivers would be frustrated, putting on a negativity show on the sideline, throwing their hands up so everybody in the stadium can see him acting a fool because they want the ball. He didn't do none of that. And lastly, I say it about him every time I talk to him, that boy a dog. Listen, man. Them Hoban DBs, man, he had a lot of them dudes on skates, man. He was putting them dudes in the ground, man, so his blocking was off the charts. And then on the Hoban side, shout out to number 2, John Johnson. He had a big-time touchdown catch in the corner. That cut it. That gave him that cut it to 13-7?
That's what gave him the spark.
That what gave him the spark, right, bro?
They got to stop.
He looked like he got some stuff to him, man. Like he could be a good player, man, because he went up and got that. That was not an easy catch, man.
And we kept saying, like, when is those playmakers?
Yeah.
Like, he went up and got it over two defenders.
He went up and got it.
So it's like we know Hoban got those things, and that's, like I said, the defense played inspired enough to keep him in the game. Like I said, they got a real hot quarterback. Defense, okay, we 13.
Right.
Then Hoban kept chopping wood, and it seemed like that's what they're accustomed to.
Yeah.
Like, we're bigger and stronger on the interior, so
we're gonna wear you down.
We're gonna wear you down. Long as we around at the end, we usually find a way.
Yep.
And
you can tell, like you said, that point, that touchdown was they sparked with that thinking. Here we go. Because when we spoke to Coach Alexander, stay tuned to watch our interview with Coach Alexander. He said that too. Like, I know Hoban is thinking, okay, we're bigger, stronger, we're gonna wear them down. So that's a great point you made, bro.
And they but when the flip side, once you took the lead, because Hoban takes the lead 14-13.
2:24 to go.
But now it's about the best players on the field at this point. And Keller Moulton, like you said, he had his moment.
Yep.
It was set up for him at home, packed house. Down. Every kid that ended up playing quarterback done had that scenario in their front yard or in their backyard, and they done envisioned it 1,000 times,
For
1,000 times.
And he
got his moment at home in front of a packed house against a heavyweight opponent.
It's a big rival.
And they couldn't have set it up.
First time they won that game in last 11 games. I think they lost 11 straight.
And when it's like that, like I said, the overfed lion, so to speak, just kind of figures we always figure out a way. Like, we just kind of always figure out that championship pedigree. We knew Hoban wasn't never out the game because we just know what they're about. Right. So, you know what I'm saying, shout out to both teams for putting on that type of a contest for us. Shout out to the Walsh Jesuits community. Y'all definitely came out and showed out. It was electric in there.
For sure.
Shout out to all the other media platforms that was out there on the sideline showing love. Man, it was the place to be.
Shout out to Mr. Hassan, the AD, great hospitality. I don't want to leave Mr. Hassan out. We appreciate you for sure.
Our face was in the place. I say shout out to Coach Stella for making sure, keeping his ear to the street, making sure we picking the right games and bringing the most exciting, electric coverage. So that's our ELLIE House Game of the Week recap. Shout out to our ELLIE House Player of the Game,
for sure.
Kellen Moulton. Coach Stella put the weight on the bar for him. He told him he thought he was the lead candidate.
Appreciate you, Keller.
Lead candidate for Mr. Football Ohio.
Appreciate you, baby. Appreciate you, baby.
It was a storybook situation. It was a storybook situation. We get to be a part of your story, Keller. So
go close the deal.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you guys. Shout out to the Walsh Jesuit football community.
Facts.
That's our ELLIE House Game of the Week. We right back.
You know it.
Between the lines with Coach Stella, baby. We at the ELLIE House Game of the Week. I got the guy right here with me, Keller Moulton. Keller, let's start right here. Fourth quarter, you down 14-13. You get the ball with 2 minutes and 24 seconds to go. Talk to the people at home. Tell them what you're thinking.
I want everybody to know there was never a doubt in my mind. I knew we were scoring that. I envisioned it in my head before the game. I knew it was going to be a close game. I knew it was going to have to come down to me. You know what I mean? We practiced two-minute drill all the time at practice. Coach had a great game plan for us. We were ready to go.
Talk about your offensive line up front. At the end of the game, yes, you ran it in. You had a lot of big plays on the last drive, but they protected you. They opened up holes for you, and they gave you time to make plays. Talk about the big fellas up front.
I'll say one thing with my chest. We have the best O-line in the state. The state. We do.
They got the best O-line in the state. You heard the guy. Talk to me. A lot of people talk about Milan Perez. A lot of people talk about you. A kid that I'm very impressed with watching this game up close is Aiden Henry.
Yep.
Big-time ball player, moxie, tough, IQ, and a playmaker. Talk about Aiden Henry and what he means to the team.
Aiden Henry has the ability to go play at a Big Ten school if you want. You know, his measurements, the only thing that's not making a Big Ten is his measurements. You know what I mean? He's 5'10". Aiden Henry is our leader. He's along with me and our other captains. Aiden Henry he doesn't come off the field. He plays 48 straight minutes, never complains about it once. Complete team player. There'll be some games where he gets the ball once or twice.
Right.
He'll work his ass off on defense, on punt returns, kick returns. He's the definition of a team guy.
Hey, now, I don't know if you tuned in to Between the Lines with Coach Stella. A couple weeks ago, I said you are my #1 candidate in Northeast Ohio for Mr. Football right now. Talk to me how that made you feel, and do you think I'm right?
I do. I do think you're right.
Short and simple, you think you're right. Keller, before we get out of here in Between the Lines with Coach Stella, we like to give out shout-outs. Parents, girls, teammates, coaches, anybody you want to. You can shout out 5 people or 500. Look in the camera, give somebody some love, baby.
My parents, Matt and Tracy Moen, my sister Maddie Moen. You got to thank them. They're the family. My nana always gives me, Bible verse before every game. Look at them, bring me up a little bit. The one today was, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I kept replying that to myself, looking up, before going out in every drive, and it really settled me down. You know what I mean?
You heard the man. My #1 candidate, Northeast Ohio for Mr. Football. Put some respect on his name. We got him, Keller Moen. Keller, thanks for joining us. I appreciate you. Tune into the show. We out. Between the Lines with Coach Stella. Hey, Between the Lines with Coach Stella, baby. We got our ELLIE House game of the week. We got Coach Nick Alexander, the head coach of the Walsh Jesuit Warriors. Coach, big time win. Talk about the environment, what it means for your coaches, your players, your community as a whole. Coach, it was beautiful out here tonight. Talk to me about it.
Yeah, it's something you dream about. You know what I mean? To play in a packed house. There was standing room only around the fence. I took a second when we walked out just to look at it. And then to put together a drive. First half was awesome. We knew we could shoot our shot, and they probably felt too, like we just got to wear them down 48 minutes, bigger, stronger, faster, whatever. But our kids have no quit, and it goes back to our culture. It starts in the weight room with Coach Redmond, our entire coaching staff. I'm so proud of them. But the senior group and these juniors that played, the sophomores that played, I mean, they've made the difference.
Coach, talk to me about the defense. I know you gave up a touchdown late, but all in all, your defense played a big-time game tonight. Declan Norton in the middle, running from sideline to sideline. He's a big-time player. Just talk about the defense and what they mean as far as getting the ball back to the offense so y'all can make plays.
Yeah, their mentality from Bill Belichick is DYJ, do your job, and they don't care who's getting the tackles. Just like on offense, our running backs touched the ball maybe 3 times tonight. We put the ball in 8's hands, but defensively it's a selfless group that plays really hard, practices really hard. They had a lot of checks tonight. We're getting in and out of different personnel groupings. I'm so proud of Coach Tyler and the defensive staff and those guys. They shot their shot. Our mentality all week was don't flinch, shoot your shot. And our guys didn't flinch.
Coach, we're going to talk about Keller here in a minute, but you got Keller Moulton, James Brewer, Milan Paris. The kid I was most impressed with tonight is Aiden Henry. The kid is a football player, Coach. Yeah. I don't know who's recruiting him, but I know if you're not, you're probably making a mistake. Talk about Aiden Henry, what he does to your team, not just his playmaking, but his confidence, his leadership, his swagger. What does he do for your team?
Yeah, so Aiden Henry is a 48-minute guy. He doesn't leave the field. He's our kick returner, our punt returner. I think he's only off of kickoff. Even his punt returns that set us up in good field position. But in the past, we let those go roll back and we got pinned back. Right. His kick return starting in positive field position, his tackles on defense, and then his big play ability. It's really nice. And Milan did his part tonight because it's really nice to have a tandem that can go. And when we get those guys going and Keller's on like he was tonight, Aiden can win up the seam on a lot of guys in the state of Ohio, and in the country. And if you're not recruiting Aiden Henry, you need to be recruiting Aiden Henry.
Coach, that's a great point. You could tell early Hoban's defense was paying a lot of attention to Milan. And like you said, you got Aiden Henry in the slot. We could get slot fades, take advantage of him. Let's talk about the man, Coach.
Let's go.
I don't know if you tuned into my show 2 weeks ago. I made a bold statement. To me, it wasn't bold. To me, it was the truth. I feel like Keller Moulton in Northeast Ohio is the #1 candidate for Mr. Football. We ain't got to talk about that. Just talk about what does he mean for your program, you as a coach, and your community as a whole.
He saw it. I saw it. We sent it back and forth, and we just I said, let's go make him right. You know what I mean? This is the kind of game where you ball out in a game like this, you can make somebody like that right. And that was his goal for you, and we appreciate you saying that. But Keller, words honestly can't describe how he played tonight. He was so calm, cool, and collected. The ball was never in danger for being intercepted. He got us out of bad plays. Had a couple horrible calls pass game-wise that he just threw it away and lived to see another down. His reads in the run game was awesome. He's a tough kid. There isn't the last drive before he went out there, he goes, "Coach, this is about to be legendary." And I'm like, that's my guy. I'm like, in the headset, I'm like, give the ball to Aiden.
Gotta feel good as a coach, right?
Hey, give the ball to Aiden. We were kind of thinking we might have to kick a field goal, but it was keep running this down. It was like a timing thing. So proud of him.
Well, Coach, here at Between the Lines with Coach Stella, it's your first time before we get out of here. We always give out shout-outs. Shout out anybody you want, 5 people, 500 people. Look in the camera, give whoever you want some love, Coach.
Shout out to my wife. It is Darce. It's her birthday on Sunday. She went here, graduated from here, played soccer at University of Wisconsin, so she would have been on your Stella report. But nice. She it's her birthday on Sunday, and she's the reason that I'm here, you know, and we started a family. We left college coaching at John Carroll. This one means a lot to her and her job and where she works and people that talk to her. So I'm going to give one to her. We'll go with that.
Hey, happy birthday to Miss Alexander, Coach. 7-0. Congratulations on the big time win. Thanks for the hospitality. We're fans of your program, fans of you and your players. Hey, between the lines with Coach Stella, you know how we do. Hey.
It's Mario Manningham. Stay locked in between the lines with Coach Stella.